Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for July 29th to 4th. This week I read 5 books, I watched a lot of one show, and I listened to 2 books. This week was most of the booktube-a-thon, but because my reading week is Sunday through Saturday and that reading week is Monday through Sunday, a couple of those books will be in the next wrap-up. First this week I read How to Make a Wish by Ashley Herring Blake. This book is about Grace, a promising pianist who returns from a 2-week music camp to find out her mom has turned their lives upside down once again. A new addition to our small town has arrived in the form of Ava, a family friend of Grace's best friend, whose mother's recently died. If it's not seagulls at 6 a.m., it's float planes at all hours of the day. Amid the shitstorm of dealing with her unreliable mother, Grace finds herself falling in love. But Ava is unwittingly a sore spot because Maggie has been mothering her more than she's mothered Grace her entire life. This book was heartbreaking with feelings just oozing off the page. It's about toxic relationships, learning to stand up for yourself, and learning to take care of yourself, and I can't recommend it highly enough. The next book I read was for the booktube-a-thon, and that was Love Beyond Body, Space and Time, edited by Hope Nicholson. This is an anthology of indigenous, queer, short science fiction stories, and it was fine. If you've been looking for two-spirited representation or own voices representation, you will find that here. Were they my favorite short stories or particularly memorable after a hectic reading week? No. Am I glad that they exist and they are out there for people who are more likely to connect with them? Yes. To be clear, I did not dislike this anthology. It's always just a mixed bag when you have multiple writers on a project. Next, I read Bandette Presto by Paul Tobin. I originally thought that this was a spy, but this is about a thief who occasionally solves crimes for the police. So I guess my read a book that includes something you would want to do is the crime-solving aspect. This is set in France, has an adorable art style and quippy writing. And I am going to pick up the rest of the volumes from the library to find out what happens. Will her teaming up with a rival thief backfire? Will her nemesis succeed in bringing her down? Will she ever get together with that cute boy that clearly has a crush on her? I just need to know. Next I read Well That Escalated Quickly by Francesca Ramsey. This is a memoir of sorts that deals with her triumphs and blunders of being an activist. I've been watching her videos for quite some time, but since I was relatively late to the YouTube game, there was a lot of background knowledge that I was happy to gain. I appreciated her perspective and reading about times where she could have done better. No one arrives in life fully woke, and it's a comfort to find out that somebody you look up to didn't learn about social justice until their late 20s. The final physical book I read this week was The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This book is about Xiomara, a twin who is feeling pressure from her extremely religious mother to go through the confirmation process at her church. Xiomara has doubts and questions, however, but knows these won't fly with her mother. So she's stuck in confirmation class every Tuesday when she'd rather be in her school's slam poetry club. This book is told entirely in poetry, flows quickly, with complete scenes springing from carefully selected stanzas. I also enjoyed the way religion was discussed in this book because it wasn't attacked as a whole, but questioned from a personal standpoint, which was rather respectful. I'm not personally religious, but I feel it is important to respect people who choose to be. This week I finished Survivor Season 6, watched all of Survivor Season 7, and started Survivor Season 8. Firstly, I'm glad to see Rupert again, and I could tell from the get-go that John was just making up the fact that his grandmother had died, which is disgusting. I hope she gave him quite a talking to when he got home. Also, Season 7 was the first season with a major twist and the first time somebody just quit the game. This week I listened to Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. This is a book about step-siblings Suzette, or Lionel, or Little and Lion as they call each other. Suzette has been away at boarding school while her brother has been working through some mental health issues, which has put some distance between these family members, but also between Lionel and his friends. Suzette also realized while she was at boarding school that she is attracted to girls and started sleeping with her roommate. Upon coming home for the summer, Suzette is coming to terms with her sexuality while also holding a really big secret of her brother's. They also have feelings for the same girl. This book is about so many things: family, race, religion, sexuality, mental health, friendship, I could go on. It was a stunning depiction of various intersections and I highly recommend it. The narrator for the audiobook was also pretty good. The final book I listened to this week was Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. This book is about a collection of characters both in and around a British Muslim family of Pakistani heritage. There is an older sister who raised her younger brother and sister, who are twins because their mother died young. Their father was a jihadi who they suspect was executed at Guantanamo, but they don't know for sure. The older sister moves to America to finish her sociology degree, and right from the start we get a scene of how difficult it is for her to get through airport security, even though all of her travel documentation is in order. We later jump perspectives to a man whose father is prominent in UK politics and used to be Muslim but converted for political reasons. The book talks about profiling, brainwashing, and the ending can be deciphered in a few different ways. Throughout the novel, there is media coverage of events that is blatantly ignorant and racist, and seeing the truth in juxtaposition with the spin is heart-wrenching. I can see why this won the Bailey's Prize, and if you're looking for a book that tackles a Muslim narrative, this is a definite contender. That's it for this week. I also had to pause my reading for the booktube-a-thon so I could film, edit, upload, and caption my July wrap-up, which had 26 books in it, so if you haven't seen that already, go check it out. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down in the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!